Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Cole from Do It.
And it's me, Dawson from Dude Do It.
And today we are here for the much requested joint sports recap. So basically, we're just going to be asking each other some questions, going over our favorite moments from the seasons, just so you guys can kind of hear what happened to the end of our seasons. Because
Yeah.
making our sports series and getting them out every week for you guys was a lot on top of school and sports. And so we just decided to stop that and do a recap at the end. So hopefully, you guys enjoy this.
Yep.
All right, for our first question, we're going to be doing our three highs and lows. And let me start with my lows, and then I'll go to highs. My lows were not no particular order. I wasn't starting a lot. Like I wouldn't be able to start many games, which is kind of sad because like starting is a big point, like a big thing in soccer, and I wasn't starting a ton. And to near to the end of the season, and just overall, I didn't get a ton of playing time, which is kind of sad because like I want to play a lot. I want to show what I know. And then another one was I had a bad game against Regent, our second game out against them. And I just did everything wrong, it seemed like that day, and just nothing went right for me. So that was my third low. On my highs, though, I'll just start with the juggling competition and go from the top. So if you didn't know juggling, I'm sure you've seen this channel. I've done it before. Soccer trick shots, that short, yeah. It's basically like controlling the ball as long as you can. And every year, my coach does this thing called the juggling competition, where he keeps track of how many juggles you get in the fall season, and then he keeps track of how many you get in the spring season. And whoever gets most improved or highest score wins a expensive match ball. And I just knew I needed to get better at juggling as soon as I learned I made this team last spring, about a year ago this week. So I got right out in the yard and I started practicing. And a year later, I got out there and I did the competition. And for my competition, I ended up getting 242 juggles, which is my personal record by a mile. And nobody else,
242.
242, yeah. Nobody else
I
could
can
beat
do
it.
like two.
As we saw in soccer trick shots. Anyway, I was unbeaten for a long time, and then two of my friends went, and one got 370 something, and then the other got 404, taking most improved and highest for me. But coach luckily had three balls this year, and so I ended up getting third place, and I just felt like it felt super cool to like see that I could juggle in the beginning, and now I can get like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. So that was a really cool experience for me. And then number two, we had a tournament called the Cranberry Clash near to the end of the season, about a couple of weeks ago. And in our last game, there was no way we could win the tournament, but we decided to go all out for our last game. Not that we didn't in the beginning, but we just lost to a bunch of good teams. And I got to start in the last game, which was my first start of the season, and it was also my last game of the season. In that game, I played really well. I had a bunch of good tackles, passes, creations in the play. I had a bunch of good crosses. Everything just went right that day, and I was very proud of my work there playing. And then the Mesa Cup experience. So it's going to be kind of a long story, so you might want to buckle your seatbelts for this. But we had this tournament called the Mesa Cup, and the first game, it was a Friday night on the Edgewood College turf field, and it was under the lights, really cool experience. And we went down 3-0 right away. End of the half, and coach gave us a really good halftime speech. And we got back in there, and after about maybe like 15 minutes, my friend put one in right away in the goal. And I think I was on the bench for the most of it because I had a little injury that game. But I was on the bench and I was just celebrating, and I remember celebrating with all my teammates and just like being super happy because we knew that we had all like the ball possession. We can win this game. And then the next goal came pretty soon, and it was 3-2, and we were coming back. We just needed one more. And then as time was about to expire, they slide tackled one of our players in the box. Penalty. Another one of my friends goes up, takes it. Boom. We tied 3-3. It was maybe one of the most fun games of my life, and it needed to happen if we wanted to win the tournament. The next day we played Dells, one of the Wisconsin Dells teams, and normally they're pretty good. We got out there. I played a decent amount of the game, and we ended up winning 4-0. Bunch of good movement, great passing. I think it was one of the most satisfying games to play because we just did everything right. And then the next day we played a game against Mount Horeb. Sorry, Dawson. Yeah, it was in the rain, and we beat them 4-0. Played the perfect game. And by the end of the tournament, we were tied in points with Verona, the team we played and came back 3-3 against. And so we were tied in points, and so we had to do a penalty shootout to go to the final. And we ended up losing that penalty shootout. I don't think we made one penalty. I didn't take any, but it was just kind of a bummer and sad. But like it was still the most fun experience ever, and I just really liked it. All right, let's go on the next slide. Dawson,
All
what
right.
were your 3 highs and lows from your running season?
Yes. So just like Cole's, I'll do lows and then highs, and then these are also not in any particular order. But I just want to say before I start that I just think what's universal across any sports is how you can see that if you put in the work, you will get direct payouts from that work.
Amen.
And
All
you
right, keep
don't
going.
see that in many other aspects, I guess. But all right. So, number one, my first 3 meets didn't exactly go how I wanted. I was still, because in order from first to last, these were all meets from my first, second, and third meets in the 1600. And these are all solid times, but these aren't necessarily what I wanted. And from that, in number 2, I had, doubt that came with that. And it's kind of hurt my self confidence, which
Mm,
as a runner, especially distance runner, you really need that because you're out there running for way longer.
yeah.
And then after my second after my third to last meet, the meet right before the state meet, I had a little bit of a hamstring problem, which I thankfully sorted out before the meet, but I was also really scared about that.
Yeah, hamstring injuries are not to be joked about. 'Cause my team had one. He was out for 2 weeks, so we got to take those.
Dang.
Yeah,
Thankfully, mine wasn't too bad, but yeah.
there you go.
All right. Number one, I'm going to start with number 2, actually.
All right, okay.
So this was the meet because we had our meet canceled between the 521 performance. And so I was, feeling, I don't know, I was mad because I was running out of opportunities to break the school record that was 511 that had been standing for 43 years.
Wow.
And I wanted it so bad. I don't know if you guys remember, but I went on to my running series and literally promised everyone watching that I would get it, which I think kind of added some accountability. And happened to be an 8th grader in this race that was crazy fast and ended up running it 4:55 in that race.
Whoa.
So really helpful to kind of, I don't know, have someone out there running a faster pace so I know kind of where I have to finish behind him. And I ended up running 5:09,
Yeah,
a
there we go.
12-second PR, which is just nuts. Like, that's a crazy gain. I don't know if you guys know that, but like 12 seconds to shave off of any distance, it's probably the least crazy in the longer distances, but still 12 seconds is like a huge amount to take off. And then number 1, I won state in the 1600 and then placed second in the 800.
Yeah. All right. Before you go on, I need everybody right now to comment down below. We love you, Dawson. You're amazing. Subscribe. I don't know, whatever you really want to do.
Yeah,
That's a lot. Winning state, it's crazy. So just give
yeah.
them some love in the comments, guys.
Thank you guys. That means a lot. I think it just is so good to like sit back and know that hard work did pay off because that really is just motivating to want to keep going. And all the support from lots of people,
Yeah.
also helps like way more than people think. Even just getting cheered on in a tough race when you're not feeling good. But anyways, get back on topic here. I didn't run a PR in that race because I was kind of running a smart race, trying to like I didn't even take the lead until 500 meters to go. And I was conserving energy, one, to make sure I didn't lose that race because it was particularly windy at that time.
Yeah.
I didn't want to bomb out, and I had 2 other events to run in at the state meet, so I didn't want to get tired either. But still ran a solid time. I think 5:12.
Hey, there you go.
But and then number 3. So this is an interesting one. Bike trail time trial for 1600 ran new PR. So I was planning on having someone pace me on a track, but they had some injury, couldn't do it, and I was feeling really discouraged, right? But then turns out my mom was like, you know what? I could just hop on my bike and I'll pace you. We'll just go on the trail, which I was so thankful of my mom to just, come up with a new solution. And yeah, but as you guys know, the trail is not fast. A bike trail is, especially a gravel one, is not faster than a track, especially like it's pretty hilly, like gradual hill changes. But I ran a new PR. My mom set out cones for every lap and then laid down flowers for the finish line. And right after the line, I checked my watch and it said 5:04, which I could not believe it. Another pretty big gain. I don't know if it was just under 5:04 because it was after the finish line I checked. But either way, 5:03 or 5:04, just could not be happier with that. And just felt good to finish off the season on like a time I was really proud of, I guess.
Nice. Do you guys
All
want to
right.
hear my fastest mile real quick? I think it was like 7:13.
Well, I think at least you're closer, like with the juggling, than I am.
That's fair. That's fair.
What am I? I think the most juggles I've ever gotten was like 10, but I was using a really big ball.
All right. I'm going to move on to what I would say to myself at the start of the season. It's pretty short, but I can elaborate on it and make it bigger almost. I would say to my past self not to worry about playing time and to make the most of every second because, like, I remember being on that bench the game where we came back from 3-0 down, and I remember just screaming and jumping because I was happy because I got to, like, do that. And I also want to make the most of, like, every second. And I did that. This is the last year playing with all these guys in the same team. It was amazing. And I just had the best experience, and they're all a ton of fun, bunch of really nice guys. And it was just amazing, and I had the best experience ever. I also tell myself to work hard even when it's tough. We did this thing called Wicked Wednesday, which is basically just an entire 2-hour conditioning session at practice. And one day we did it. It was 90 degrees, and there was no wind. We warmed up with a mile jog around the park, and then we did a lot of different stuff. And I remember just coming home and falling on the couch. I was dehydrated. I was just trying to chug fluids. And I just felt terrible. I could barely talk. I was panting the whole way back in the car. But I had to keep working hard and going for it because that's what you have to do if you want it, if you have that drive. And I wanted that. I really wanted to be better and use this conditioning for what it was supposed to be. So, yeah, I just say to myself, work hard, don't worry about playing time, and make the most of every second. All right, let's move on to you, Dawson.
I think that's really good. I think also it's kind of a general theme. You're like, don't waste this opportunity. Every soccer game that you have, every track meet that I have, it's an opportunity to improve and to work hard.
Yeah.
Even every practice. And so there's a lot of people that just want to be lazy and sit around, but you're wasting that opportunity by doing that.
Yeah.
And I think that's just a really good thing. And all right, I'll move on to mine because yours is kind of a good segue into mine.
All right.
Tell my past self, I would tell my past self in the extra work because that separates the good from the great. When the practice is over, are you going to go and still run 10 extra laps when everyone else is sitting down and recovering and glad they're not running anymore? That's what's going to give you the progress that you need, whatever it is, just extra reps. And do not worry about looking like, a tryhard or someone that, because I know a lot of people, it's easy to get a hard time from that and to let that get to your head. But like, as an athlete, you should want to look that way because you should want to be great and be really good at what you do and use that as kind of fuel. Because if you're worrying too much about working hard, then, I wrote you can go and grab your participation trophy, which is kind of true because like, if you're really too worried about how like your reputation is going to look by working hard, then why are you even out here, because good results are for people who aren't afraid to do that and how they look. They just want to be out there and work hard,
Somebody quote that and put that in a book. That was amazing.
I try,
Yeah, but I really like how you said the participation trophy area because like nobody wants to have a trophy for participation. You want to get out there and you want to win. You got to work hard, and you should enjoy every second of it. And you have to work hard for what you want. And you did all of that. So yeah.
Yeah.
All
right. So for our third question, what are your goals? We're using the ABC goal method, which what that kind of means is your A goal is something that's really difficult to reach, and it's almost a little bit unrealistic, just slightly. Or if you do it right, it should be. And it's like it gives you something to really shoot for and to really like get excited about. But then you have that B goal and C goal, which are like you can fall back on even if you don't hit that A goal. Does that
Um,
make
yeah, mine are really in no particular order. It's just kind of all A goals, but I think like realistically, this is what I did my best. My A goal is to start every game. And I actually found out what team I'm on. I'm on the C team this year, which at first I was kind of sad about because I wasn't like the best team or any of that. But I realized I had tons of great friends in this team, and I'm gonna have opportunities to start and play every game. So my A goal is to start every game. It might be absurd, it might be not, but I really think that's gonna be a good goal. And my B goal is to take our team's penalties. I have no clue who else is on our team, except for a couple friends I know that said they were. But yeah, I've been practicing my penalties for a long time, and I've really felt like I've gotten to the place where I'm very comfortable with taking them, and I can do it under high pressure situations. And that's all about penalties. So I really want to be able to take our penalties this next season. And my C goal is to be team captain. It's all kind of like absurd goals, but I feel like I have the leadership skills and the social skills to lift everyone up and be the team captain because I feel like I have that ability and it'd be really cool to see that happen. So I'm just kind of shooting big for some of these, and yeah.
Before I go into mine, I just want to point out I love your outlook of like treating being on the C team as an opportunity and not looking down on it.
Yeah.
Because
Um,
it's worth wasting your time about, being because you can feel sorry for yourself for a little bit, but then you gotta, get up and get back working. But yeah, I love the way you put that.
Actually, so if you guys didn't know, I was at a camp for a while for 2 weeks in June, and the our soccer team that lives here in Madison, Ford Madison, one of the people that was helping there, Caleb Tucci, he was a center back for Ford Madison, defense basically, and I asked him what he would do, and he said, "Oh yeah, C team, like if you make that, you can play every game, and it'll be a good opportunity to learn and all that stuff." And so I feel like that, like, it's really good to find light in the darkness when it seems like there's darkness. So like I really like that. All right, should we move on to yours? Let's do it.
Sure. All right. So I think running wise, I think goals are a little bit more boring, but they're easier to set. But it's not like, interesting like be team captain. It's just like, my A goal though is I don't know, it's something I really, really want. Maybe just a slightly out of what's realistic, but I want a sub 445 1600, which that's really fast, but I think if I work hard enough I can do it. Beagle sub 450 1600 also, I think that one honestly I probably can get, but I I would really be happy with that one too. And then Seagull sub 453 1600, I'd still be happy with that, but that's kind of just my backup, like the goals are supposed to be, but I really would be a lot more happy with those other ones, but still be happy with any of those up there.
Yeah, I like it. I hope it's not a spoiler alert as well, but because you're moving to Iowa, the ground should be like crazy flat,
Oh yeah.
So you can just probably sprint down some country road and be able to break like 3 minutes.
Yeah. Just not have to worry about turning left or anything.
Just straight forward through the cornfields.
Yeah.
Do you actually want to talk about that? Should we do that right now?
Sure.
All right, here I'll go back to the main slide so we can just kind of have something to look at while you say that.
All right. So DDI, I'm going to be open and real with you guys. In probably by the time this video comes out, but by the time of recording, I am 2 days away from leaving Wisconsin and going to Iowa to move in on the 29th. And don't worry, I'll be back in Wisconsin a lot, so we'll still have quite a few in-person videos, but it'll be a lot less in-person videos. But
Yeah.
I'm excited, I'm nervous. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Iowa.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
Peace.
Adios.